Welcome to Love You Bro podcast. I am your host, Jude Jamie. As I do it up every week, I do it with my baby brother, Jamie.
What to do?
What's up, man?
How are you?
I'm doing good. We got a special guest from Kansas City on our show tonight. We're super excited. You know, one thing we love is our Kansas City sports, but we love to have people and stuff that grew up here in Kansas City and played. So we're going to welcome to the show tonight Ashton Maloney from the University of Texas. National champion Ashton Maloney from the University of Texas, the Women's College World Series team that just won the national title. We've been very fortunate and blessed to bring some national champions on our show. I'm not sure if you know Coach Andrea Hoodie. She's the strength and conditioning coach at UConn. So after the UConn woman won the national title, she came on our show. And we watched you do your thing during the World Series. So we're going to get into all that. But first of all, welcome to our show tonight.
Hello.
Yeah. Pleasure. And I would say the swaggiest of swaggy outfielders that patrol the outfield in women's college. Like, I watched several games and clips, and I was like, man, I like her. I was like, I like her swag. I was like, there was a catch you made that you're fully extended. He's got up, and I jumped off the couch and felt that energy, and I was like, oh man, I fuck with her hard. So cool. Well, welcome on. We're stoked.
Thank you.
We really, like I said, just the energy and vibe. It's just watching, you know, some of your film and some of the stuff that we saw there at UT, and some of the plays. Obviously going through and looking through that stuff, but we want to dive into when you first started getting recognized and stuff and doing your thing at Liberty. So tell us a little bit about your career, like at Liberty High School, and then also kind of your club and stuff like all that. And then we'll get into your recruitment, that part of it. But let's start back a little bit. At Liberty, were you playing varsity as a freshman?
I was. We were talking about it last night, actually. I was in 6th grade, and the coaches were asking me, oh, when are you going to be in high school? I'm like, I'm in 6th grade, dude. And my sister was on the team, and we were talking about it, and she's like, I just wanted to quit because I was going to be Ashton's sister the rest of the time. So. Sorry, Abby.
That's hilarious.
So Abby's your older sister.
Yeah.
So was she already playing at Liberty at the time, or she was like a few years older than you?
She was playing for 2 years before I got there, but when I got to high school, she was just like, I'm ready to be done with softball. So.
That's hilarious. And she was done.
Yeah, she was done.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so tell us about your career. So 6th grade, you started having high school coaches ask you about when you're going to get there.
I got to high school, and I made varsity my freshman year. Whatever. Was all state that year, or second team all state that year, and then second team all state the next year, and then first team the last two. So it was a pretty good career. Set a couple school records.
So tell us about the records you set there at Liberty.
I think I broke 12, and then
you broke 12. You broke 12.
Just like a few 12.
You see the national she just said, I broke 12 records. Yeah. So tell me some of the records you broke there at Liberty.
I think I broke hits in a season, career hits in a season, hit home runs in a season. I broke that one, and I haven't hit a home run in college, so you see how that's going.
Yeah. You have not hit a home run since you've been at UT?
No, it's all right.
That's okay. Right. Listen,
base percentage.
What else? Runs scored, like things like that. Career runs scored.
Right.
I think I broke like slugging percentage, batting average, stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So when you're doing all this, like when do you, so when you're doing this at Liberty, when do the calls start coming or letters start coming or coaches in the stands that you're starting to, they're starting to be in contact? I bet 6th grade too. There's some coaches there's some college. But when at Liberty, when they were like,
I would say like freshman year they were starting to come to games, but it wasn't until sophomore year that I had like a breakout season that coaches were like starting to come. And then for softball, you can't talk to college coaches until September 1st of your junior year. So I wasn't getting like offers or anything until then. So.
Right. Would they still write letters like freshman softball? You were just getting like letters of just kind of like introductory type things?
Like come to our camp, things like that. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that, because I know some girls. And when we'll get into the whole. I played men's fast pitch softball. After I played baseball, I played like 20 years in men's fast pitch softball. So had a lot of guys had daughters and stuff that played. Yeah. So tell me about like with the club teams and stuff, because I know there's recruiting wise, there's certain things you can do. Like, so do girls play club and play high school ball, or is it just a club? How does that work with that?
So you can't play club ball while you're playing high school ball. So from like August until October, I would just play high school ball, and then the rest of the year I'd play with my travel team and just play club ball and stuff like that.
Okay. So being in Missouri, the girls softball's in the fall, right?
And then a lot of the girls on my team were from Kansas, and they play in the spring. So it was like half the team would be missing during 3 months, and then half the team would be missing during another 3
That's
months.
wild.
Okay,
It's weird.
That's schedule.
That
How
is
the
crazy.
schedules are like that.
Missouri, I think Georgia, Rhode Island, and maybe Oklahoma are like the only states that have softball in the fall.
Have the fall softball.
Yeah.
So that means that then you guys don't play against schools in Kansas. I mean, then
Nah.
See, that's wild because now it's like, in high school basketball, it's become a big thing,
Yeah.
and actually football, when in the last couple of years, where like they're playing with more regularity
Mm-hmm.
against the state of Kansas, like the big powerhouse, the powerhouse schools. So that's
Wow. So
completely different seasons. That's
Yeah,
wild.
so in your school seasons, you're only playing the teams from Missouri. You can't play anybody from Kansas. I mean, do you guys play anybody outside of Missouri at all in your schedule?
When I was in high school, we went to Springfield, Missouri a couple times, and we played like a couple schools from St. Louis. But outside of that, like I was only playing teams in the metro area,
Right.
unless we got far in like state and stuff.
What
But
what club team did you play for here?
I played for the Aces,
The Aces.
Fast Pitch.
Okay, what'd you get? Did you guys make nationals and do things like that? Like, were you?
We won some cool stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We won some-
we were really good.
Yeah.
We had a lot of girls going to a lot of different schools.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about. So your dad and I talked a little bit when I was trying to hunt you down on social media. And I told Jamie, I'm like, Ashton Maloney, we have to get her on our show. So everybody's like, how are you going to do this? And I'm like, I'm going to social media to reach out. So thanks, shout out to our friend Frank Rapez of the show and getting a hold of your dad, because that's how we got a hold of you.
Yeah.
But in talking to your dad a little bit, he talked about when you were coming out of Liberty. When did you have? Now you had a knee injury, correct?
Yeah.
So when did you hurt your knee?
So I tore my ACL the last travel tournament. So it was like July, and I was leaving like the second week of August to go to college.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Gosh,
So
so
it
you
was-
tore your ACL. What was
I
it?
tore my ACL, and then both meniscuses were messed up.
Oh my gosh! So 2 weeks before you're supposed to go to Austin,
Yeah.
before you're supposed to go to UT, you tear this up. So at that point, what is it like? I mean, all your dreams, everything you've
Yeah.
worked for since however what you picked up. That was the first time you picked up a mitt, picked up a ball, picked up a bat. Now you're 2 weeks away from going to Austin.
Yeah.
So let's go back just a little bit for a second. Was Texas your dream school, or
yeah.
were there other schools, or you knew you wanted to go to Texas?
I always wanted to go to a school that was warm, so I was not going anywhere above Missouri. So I was going
Everything south?
Yeah, and I like the state of Texas. I don't know if Texas was necessarily my dream school, but when I started getting recruited by Texas, it was. So
Right.
Yeah, he was like, it's February.
so-
Real quick, how did you injure? How was that? Because that's a pretty bad injury. Were
Yeah.
you running bases? Were you tracking a ball down, or how did that?
I was on second base, and ball got hit up the middle. I got sent home, and I went to like Hookside, and we were playing on turf. So I
my God.
yeah, like got stuck.
Yeah.
My cleat got stuck.
no.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. That sound. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds so extremely painful. Are most like infields that like artificial stuff, or
No.
you guys? That
We were
sucks.
just on happened to be playing on a turf field, so
Yeah.
it was great.
I mean,
Where,
so
Yeah.
where was that? Where was that when that happened?
Baus, Oklahoma.
Dallas, Oklahoma.
Yeah, they were bad fields too.
fuck
And I
Oklahoma,
can say
right?
that. Yeah, I can say
Yeah,
that because I
yeah.
tore my ACL in those fields. They
Yeah,
suck.
no, absolutely, that totally sucks. So, okay, Jude, back to what you were saying. Back when you said
No, so
after-
just tell us. Excuse me. Tell us about the injury. Your dad said you just faced a lot of adversity
Yeah.
and coming back from that injury and stuff. Tell me about that.
As an athlete, like you have your sport, and that's like what you put your identity in. And that was taken away from me. I'm in a different state. I don't know anybody. All I have is my teammates, and it's hard. It's hard as an athlete to welcome somebody that's like not at practice with you, that's in the training room the whole time. So it was like I felt like I was just on the outside a lot of the time that whole year, and it was a really hard year.
So when did you have? So you get hurt end of July. When did you have your surgery, like on your ACL?
September 1st.
So you did not go in August. You were not down in Austin. Did you have to wait, like, or did you go down there and go to school?
I moved in, went to like the first week of practice, and then had surgery like the next week. I was emailing my professors before the first day of school. I'm having surgery. I won't be
Right.
there.
So you came back to Kansas City to have the surgery?
No, I had it in Austin.
In Austin. So you had the surgery in Austin. So how were the coaches as far as like being receptive and stuff to all, like, here's one of our star players that we've just recruited. Super excited to have her. Just tore her ACL.
Yeah.
How are they like about, the surgery and like rehab and all that kind of stuff? That's tough.
Yeah. I remember calling my coach. He was at the game that I tore my ACL, and he had just left. And I didn't know I tore my ACL until I got back from Oklahoma.
Right.
Because I had to get MRIs and imaging and stuff. And I was like, hey, like, my ACL's 100% torn. And he's like, damn,
Right. Yeah.
But they're like, what can they do at that point?
course.
Like, it's it's good. You know, there'll be some sort of silver lining. That's what they kept telling me. Like, it happened for a reason, stuff like that.
So how do you feel that changed you, or how do you feel? Did it make you a better player? Did it make you? I mean, what goes through your mind? Because we've worked with a lot of athletes, guys that have been through torn Achilles and torn ACLs and stuff that have had to come back from that. But I want to know from your standpoint, what was that like? I mean, that rehab process coming back from that. Because is that the first major injury you ever faced?
It's the only surgery I've had up to that point, and it was 13 months of rehab, so it was not fun.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was a lot. It's really made me appreciate the game. I think at the point that I tore my ACL, softball was just like a job to me, but now it's more of a like something that I enjoy doing, something that I get to do, something that I show up every day, and I'm grateful to be there. So I think it gave me like the love of the game back.
See, that's
awesome.
cool. But I mean, that's some of the vibe and for some of the energy you and I have talked about and watching some of the game film and some of the stuff. He's, as you can tell, because this is my baby brother, as you can tell, he's the one that's into the swag and the drip and all the stuff. And he's just like,
she was like, "Have you been to Austin?" I was like, "Yeah." And she just started smiling and shook her head.
Can tell.
Yeah, so absolutely.
He's the swag guy. I'm the basketball short, tennis shoe, t-shirt. As you can tell, I'm sporting. Herb, you'll like this. I'm sporting a University of Texas hat from 2021. So there's a story behind the College World Series we talked about a little bit last week. Every year I go. I'm a huge baseball, basketball, softball, women's softball junkie. And I go to the World Series every year in Omaha. And I'll pick a team. And he loves to make fun because he's just like, who is it this year? Who are you with?
Who was it this year?
Arkansas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
They're cursed.
Well, you know what? Well, hold on. Let's go back before this because this is a good friend of my family right here for a long time. Herbie Phil. We talked during the season because his nephew is a pitcher for University of Texas. So during the year, we had talked several times about going to the World Series. And I called Derek Johnson. I said, DJ, I said, I want some team hats. I want you to. He's like, all right, I'll call someone in the office. I want some team hats. And then they go and get knocked out by University of Texas San Antonio, right? UTSA. And then your nephew transferred from there, right? So that was my first choice. And when they got knocked out in the regional, I picked Arkansas. So hence my University of Texas for 2021 gear. So anyway, but let's talk a little bit about. I want to talk about your time, at Texas, like coming off that injury. Tell me about, when you were coming back. When did you start like being able to be back on the field and stuff? Was it sophomore year?
At the end of my freshman year, like that year that I redshirted, I got to practice a little bit. Like I got to hit some, and then I got to get a little bit in the field, but it wasn't until the summer that I really got to like work on my own and do things like that. But coming back in the fall was when I started to be able to play. I was still wearing the brace though, and it was like
still wearing a brace. You've always been in the outfield, correct? Mm-hmm. So I mean, did it affect you a lot? I mean, very much. And I mean, when you're running,
more hitting than like fielding.
Just uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I had to wear it underneath my pants, so it was like
bulky,
a little bulky. Yeah, it was tight fit there.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sure. Okay, so you get recruited to University of Texas. You tear your ACL. You have this season being redshirted. So your first season that you actually got to play was your redshirt. It was your redshirt freshman season. How did that very first freshman season go when you were there at UT?
It was a lot. Like it was a wake up call. Like you're hitting against college pitchers. You're facing college teams. It was hard, but it was fun. That year was we lost in our super regional. I made a really bad error too, so that was the end of our season ended on that. So I was like, oof.
Your season ended on your error?
It wasn't on my error, but 4 runs scored on my error. So yeah, it was a good one.
That's a good one.
In the park home run.
Did you go dive for a ball
it went under my glove.
It went under your glove.
I got megged to the fence. It was bad.
Hey, listen, I love this about Ashton. She's like, it went under my net and 4 runs scored.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, absolutely, 100%. So let's talk a little bit. I'm just going back because I had so many notes and stuff that I kind of wrote down. I've got kind of in my phone. I want to talk about what was it like when they changed over, Jamie, from when you guys changed over from the Big 12 and then you go into the SEC. Was it a different gauntlet as far as pitchers you were facing in the Big 12 compared to what you saw in the SEC? Or what was that like for you guys? And how does Coach come to you and say, okay, or you guys kind of knew it was coming, like, by the way, we're now in the SEC and not the Big 12 anymore?
Well, there were rumors about it. Like, I was seeing them all over Twitter, like, Texas and Oklahoma are getting bought out and they're going to the SEC. I'm like, yeah, okay. It's like 5 million, or it was like a ridiculous amount of money.
Right.
And I was
right.
like, okay, whatever. And then CDC has a meeting with everybody. He's like, hey, we're going to the SEC. And we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But SEC pitching's insane. Everybody in the SEC was good. Like, there wasn't a team that was like, that you're just looking at and you're like, oh, we'll beat them, walk through them. Like, no, everybody was fighting in the SEC. They were good teams.
Right.
Pitching was good.
You know, we had on Xander Seacrest from the University of Tennessee, he was a starting pitcher in the national championship for Tennessee last year, and I had met him in Omaha. I met his parents, and that's how we started talking, and we got him to come on our podcast. But he talked about the gauntlet that he faced in the SEC.
I mean, every sport. It is disgusting. I mean, I always say this: if I had it all over do it again, I would love to go to a school in the SEC. Just the tradition, and there's just so I bet you saw really cool ballparks from what you were used to your first years, and then go into these like super cool, like that it's like they're all kind of flossed out, and they're all like. It's not like you're in Lawrence, and all the Jayhawks.
Actually, KU's softball stadium is one of the nicest ones.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
We both went to KU. So
was KU one of those schools that you run through? Like you're like, oh, you look at them, you're like, yeah, we run through.
No.
Say less.
We didn't run through them, but
Right.
I mean, we knew we would handle business every time.
Right. So in the Big 12, what year was it that you switched over? That they switched over? Was it 2 years ago?
No, it was this year. This was our first year in the SEC.
This is your first year in the SEC?
Yeah.
So what'd you guys do in the Big 12 your first couple of years when you were there?
My redshirt freshman year, I don't remember because I don't remember.
Right.
My redshirt freshman year, I guess we got second or third, and then last year we won the Big 12 regular season and then lost to OU in the championship for the tournament, and then this year we were in the SEC.
Okay. So tell us, because I know they went to the SEC with you, but watching what they've done at Oklahoma with all these national championships, what's it like? Because you're in the Big 12 with them, so you're battling them there. Now you're over the SEC. But what's that program like over there at OU?
They're crazy. Like, they're crazy good. Everybody was saying, oh, it's going to be like a letdown year. They graduated, I think, 12 seniors, and they were still good. They still swept us. So, I mean, they're insane. Patty Gass was one of the best coaches in college softball. And
Was OU looking at you when you were at Liberty?
No. I was a little bit on, like, the underrated side. Like,
right.
I wasn't getting recruited super heavy. I mean,
right.
I'm an outfielder, so
right.
it's like the recruitment isn't as, like, heavy on outfielders as it is, like, pitchers, shortstop, stuff like that.
Pitcher, shortstop, catcher, everything up the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, that's even in baseball, though. I mean, I played college baseball, and when your coaches, when they're going out recruiting, first they're recruiting as pitchers, then catchers, then shortstop and center. But they're recruiting center fielders though too, because they want that up the middle, everything up the middle.
Yeah.
They're wanting. So what is your primary position? I know you're in the outfield. Are you right field, left field?
Right field.
Right field.
Yeah.
Right field. So right field, and then you were leading off. Is that correct in the World Series?
You have some wheels. Even with
I'm pretty quick.
You're pretty quick. Yeah. Bat for the left side, right side?
I'm a left-handed hitter. I'm a slap hitter. So.
Oh wow, I love that slap hitter, man. I love that. we played. I was 18 when I started playing men's fast pitch, and he was on a team, and he kind of took me under his wing because I was a baseball player. I pitched, so I came over, and he kind of took me under his wing to learn how to hit because rise balls. I mean, everything was different. Rise balls, drop balls. And I'm sitting there, and he's yelling at me. He's telling me scoot up in the box. And I'm like, what? I'm like, these guys are throwing like bullets right now. Like, I'm not scooting up in the box.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to. You're never going to catch a break on that rise or that drop.
Men are insane. Men's fast pitch pitchers are insane.
Yes. Yeah.
My coach played men's fast pitch in New Zealand. Coach White.
Right.
He pitches to us sometimes.
Yeah.
He spins.
It's huge in New Zealand too,
yeah.
like men's fast pitch, right? I mean, it's like a really big deal.
Yeah, as we started playing men's fast pitch, there's pitchers that we would see. We would always go to a big tournament in Houston. It was the World Latin Festival, and you had pitchers coming from all over the place. And I remember, I told him one time when we went to Houston, there was a kid named Tito Florencia from Monterrey, Mexico, and this guy would warm up. He'd go between the mound and he'd go between second base. And that's where he was warming up from. And everything he was throwing from there was harder than anything we'd ever seen in Kansas City. So then when this guy got up on the mound, it was like, Jesus, I felt like he was running on top of me, man. And I mean, so it's the guys can chug it. But listen, the girls in your game right now, there's some throwers. Tell us what it was like facing some of those girls and the girl
Carlin
from Texas
Pickens.
Tech. She's from Topeka, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Nija.
Yes. So did you play any club ball against her like in high school?
A little bit, yeah. I think I played her once or twice in high school, but a lot when we were in like 12U and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
So from the time you saw her in high school, when was the first time you saw her in college? Because she wasn't at Texas Tech, right? She was somewhere before then.
We played, so she was at Stanford. We
Okay.
played them in the World Series last year. We beat them twice there.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think we played her the year before that. I think she was hurt a majority of the year, and I don't
Right.
think we played Stanford that year. But yeah,
Who's the toughest pitcher you got to face out there right now?
Nija's really good, but I think the hardest pitcher for me to hit is Carlin Pickens.
Okay.
She's a Tennessee pitcher.
Uh-huh.
She's just set the record throwing 79, so
Wow.
she throws that thing.
79.
Yeah.
That's like,
So what's the distance on the women's mound?
43 feet.
43.
Yeah.
Because in the men's game it's 46. Is that correct? 46. So 43
Yeah.
in the women's game. So throwing 79. What is that comparable to baseball? Is they
I think it was like 110.
see that's
in
what I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of times you see the
Hell
women.
no.
You see the women like in the lower 70s, and they're saying that's in that 95 to 98 range
Yeah.
for
Sure.
sure.
Yeah.
79.
Yeah.
What's Nija throwing?
Nija throws consistently like 73 to 4. She throws hard too, and her
Right.
ball moves pretty nasty. So
Yeah.
and
I mean,
she's got a gross changeup too. So
no, I saw what's that?
yeah,
Yeah.
changeup's dirty.
Now I saw the Texas Tech. They've gone out and they've signed some players in this NIL stuff. Yes.
Yeah, they have. Whew.
I mean they've gone out and got some people. They've there was a pitcher from UCLA that I saw they picked up. Do you know her? Have you seen her before?
Yeah, we played against them last year. We opened up at UCLA. Yep.
And so you
Caitlin
faced her last
Terry.
year because I think she was 21-4 or 20-5 or something
Yeah.
this year.
She's a good pitcher. Yep.
So they'll bring
Good
her.
pickup for them.
So they'll bring her with Nija next year.
Yeah.
So
nasty one too.
So coming back to national champions, what do you come back with now? What will UT come back with this season?
I mean, we return everyone besides our seniors, of course, and then we're bringing in a really big class. I think we've gotten quite a few good transfers coming in too, so I think we're coming back the same team almost, and we've lost a few pieces, but I think that we'll figure out ways to fill those pieces back in.
Jamie, I think we might have to make our way to Austin next year and catch
Say less.
catch a UT softball game
less,
there.
You
Yeah.
guys some tickets.
Yeah, we would love
What's
to
your,
check that out.
how's your guys' schedule work out? You know, like the men play, like, I know they always talk about their starters on Wednesday starters and then Sunday starters. How does your guys' schedule line up?
Like for pitching?
Just in general, like, you know, because like, what don't the college get teams like play on like a series during the middle of the week?
The men's teams have like single games they play during the week, and then the weekend they'll have like if it's Texas OU, there's a 3-game series.
So is that how you guys schedule breaks
Yeah,
down?
so they play on Tuesdays, but we play on Wednesdays for midweeks, and then we'll play Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And it's just as a doubleheader on Wednesday, or is it just,
Nah,
what
just one
single
game.
game?
Yeah,
Just
just
one
usually a
In
single game.
conference?
No, it's usually like, it's always an out of conference game, but it's usually like we played Oklahoma State one midweek game. We've played Abilene Christian
Sure.
for a couple, just
Right.
local teams sometimes because
Yeah.
you don't want to be traveling. You know.
Right,
Of course.
sure. And
Texas State, we play them all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So it's set up a lot. It's set up a lot like the men's baseball.
Yeah,
Then
a
when
lot
you
like
have
them.
schools, smaller schools come in to play you, like she said. So you're not traveling.
A lot of the times, whoever the men play will also play.
Oh,
Like,
really?
If they play them on Tuesday, we'll play them on Wednesday, or like
Oh,
we've
that's
played
cool.
them the previous week. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
And what I've noticed, and maybe it's just, you know, in the past couple of years, but it seems a lot more chippy and a lot more like there's a lot more this, like, in its competitiveness. And it's just like, I love it because I'm like, it was so, to me, and maybe I just wasn't picking up on it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but it's just, I think with more, you know, prevalent on television, you know, softball, you know, obviously basketball now, but like, it's just, there's a lot more, I don't know if it's competitive because it's always been competitive, but just that, like, it's visually out there. It's just, it's intense.
Yeah.
And it's kind of back and forth, and there's like top of the dugout and there's some shit being said, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, the game has grown so much in the past couple years. Like I'll credit OU. Like they definitely started a lot of the energy and
Yeah.
stuff. They got people throwing bats after walks. And,
Yes.
I mean that brings attention to the game, whether you
Yes.
hate it or whether you
Yes.
love it. Like
Yeah.
people are watching it. And
Yeah.
I think our game 2 or 3 was 1.8 million viewers. So
That is incredible.
That's-
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That
the
is so
game's
good.
just growing crazy.
That's awesome. That's one of the really cool things. Like I said, we've loved here in Kansas City, like with the KC Current, to see what
Yeah.
they're doing. we had Jillian Carroll on last week, and we were talking about WNBA stuff. I think it's really cool. Now they just started. Isn't there now starting a women's professional softball league?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I hope it grows to what they are. And they just had the MLB invest in it as well.
That's
Did you see
awesome.
that? Yeah.
No, I did not see that. I just heard that they're going to
Which is
start
a great
a new
thing.
women's pro softball.
Which is great, yeah.
Yeah, but it's something we've talked about. It's needed because, like Jillian said last week on the show, she talked about there's always been these intense rivalries and the women's sports stuff. Nobody was watching. Yeah. Nobody was watching as much as they are now.
Not just getting the exposure. It's
they weren't getting the exposure that they deserve. I think current building the all women's soccer facility, being the first one to do that in the United States, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the women's teams deserve to have more recognition. Do it. I think that's so cool. The new women's pro softball team, would that or the league? Would you want to play after college?
I think if I got the opportunity, I would definitely play.
Right.
Nothing's guaranteed though.
No, of course, no, not at all. But have they said where the teams are going to start though yet on that?
I think next year they're going to grow it quite a bit. I mean, this year it's really been pretty popular. I think it's going to grow quite a bit next year, so we'll see.
Because there's not like international leagues, right? I
believe there are, but they're not like.
I would imagine.
I would imagine with like I said, just the popularity of and I've always watched women's, like once it gets to super regionals, it's super entertaining.
Yeah.
And it's just like you've seen the stadiums become more and more full on random days that maybe years before there was a lot of empty seats. Now it's just like, holy shit. It's just, so I can imagine the popularity and how incredible, fan friendly it'll be. I mean, there's ways now that they've seen what succeeds, in the women's soccer, that it's like, it's wildly successful and people are coming out in groves. The WNBA has been incredible, and a lot of people, credit to Caitlin Clark, but it was already happening before Caitlin got there. Yeah. And she did bring obviously a lot of viewers, but you just because we were, like she said, we were talking to Jillian last week, and I was like, my favorite player in the NBA is Sophie Cunningham. It was on a Monday night, and Tuesday night she gets up in that shit, and it's like, holy shit. And all of her followers, but once again, it's a testament to how locked in people are on the sports. Because it's like, it's crazy. 3 years ago, I wasn't checking WNBA schedules, but now I do, and it's like, I don't watch every game, but I do lot, and it's not just the Fever. I do watch it more. Kelsey Plum's a dog. I love to watch her. I love how chippy she is and just talking shit the whole time and like out there hooping. But it's been incredible to see. So I can imagine this, as this continues to grow, it'll be successful. That would be awesome to see you take your game to the next level and come home to your backyard if KC gets one, and
I think a lot of like the WNBA growing has been like storytelling and like what ESPN has done for it and like how they've broadcasted it. But along with that, like you don't have Caitlin Clark without, Angel Reese and like the rivalry between that. I think that brings so much viewership. And like with softball, I don't think we would get 1.8 million viewers without OU winning 4 national championships before it. Like that's the villain. That's who everybody wants to beat and stuff like that. And I think it's just growing the game crazy. Like,
which is awesome.
With the storytelling.
Yeah.
No, it's really cool to watch the women's game grow. I mean, I've always watched the Women's College World Series because it's in Oklahoma City. It's obviously it's a place that I want. I've never been to Oklahoma City to watch the Women's College World Series, so I want to get down there. So I think one of the deals we'll make next year is if Ashton Maloney and Texas are on the Women's College World Series. Love You Bro podcast. We'll be there. I'm just telling you. I'm letting you know right now.
I want to pull up to Austin though.
Well, we can do that. We can definitely pull up to
Come to the
Austin.
Super Regional, and then you can go
There
to
you go.
OKC.
Yeah,
It's on the way home. It's on the way home. There you
I
go.
love it. So are you saying that we have an invite now to come to Austin?
Yep, absolutely.
I love it.
Mark that right there. So being a Kansas City girl, now are you a Chiefs fan? So when you're in Austin. No.
I'm not a Chiefs fan, actually.
Whoa, who you ride with?
Well, I can't be a Chiefs fan. Patrick Mahomes was cheering for Texas Tech.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Patrick and Brittany were at the World Series. Wow, they were up there big with their Texas Tech stuff, weren't they? And their box.
Yeah.
So
that was cool that they were there, though.
Yeah.
Right.
And that they're investing in women's sports.
Yeah, once again,
Brittany with Current. And
then that they kept showing them the box. That's good for viewership. So do you like NFL or do you just don't like the Chiefs? Or
I just don't like the Chiefs.
Okay, who's your team?
It has nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes investing in Texas Tech. No, I'm just kidding.
But who's your team? The Broncos.
No.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh, Cowboys are
I'm a
team.
Cowboys fan. It's unfortunate.
Have you always been a Cowboys fan?
Yeah.
That's really cool though. So will your family come up there for Thanksgiving since they're playing in Dallas?
We've gone to one game on Thanksgiving. We went when they played the Bills and they lost. That was back in 2019. Yeah.
But they're playing in Dallas. The Chiefs are playing on Thanksgiving in Dallas this year.
Are they?
Yes. The Thanksgiving game for Dallas this year is the Chiefs.
Oh.
In Dallas.
Yeah.
In Dallas.
I don't follow them too heavily, I'll be honest, but
So are you a fan of other sports? Like are you basketball? I mean, do you like NBA, regular NBA?
I've been watching a couple games in the finals, but I haven't watched very much of the.
Because another Longhorn, KD, was in the news. He got traded from to the Rockets.
Yep, saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Hey, listen, Ashton, we're going to take a break for just a couple minutes real quick. We're going to go to our sponsors that sponsor our show, and then we're going to come back. As long as you got some more time to hang out with us, we're going to come back. We're going to talk some NIL. We're going to talk some more Women's College World Series.
Talk about us pulling up to Austin.
Yeah, we want to hear more about Ashton Maloney and the Texas Longhorn women's team. So
national champions.
After these, we'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by Yaya's Euro Bistro, located in Corbin Park in Overland Park, Kansas, at 7021 West 135th Street. Yaya's Euro Bistro is where Mediterranean delights await. Savor genuine flavors, exquisite cuisine, and a charming atmosphere. Whether it's a special event or casual dining, immerse yourself in an unforgettable culinary journey experience at Yaya's Bistro. It's one of Jessica and I's favorite places we love to go to. We just want to thank Pat Corey and the PB&J group over there. They do such a great job. So go by Yaya's Bistro, visit them. Great time, good drinks, great food. Thanks again to Yaya's Bistro for being one of our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Guy's Deli at the back of Kelly's in Westport, where sandwiches and pizza lovers go. They can even buy it by the slice. We make deli sandwiches that you can order baked, toasted, cold, or steamed, order from the chef's menus, or work up your own. We offer pizzas in a 12 or 16-inch pie, or order them by the slice. We kept some of Joe's recipes and added a few new pizzas with our own twist. We are home of the Guy's Snacks, Dildo Pizza, and of course, we've got plenty of apps and salads and Guy's Chips to round out the meal. Head to the little deli at the back of Kelly's in Westport. That's where you'll find Guy's Deli. So thank you to our friends over at Guy's Deli for being one of our sponsors. Without these sponsors, we can't bring you our Love You Bro podcast. So thanks to our sponsors for today. Guys, we'd like to thank our resident sponsor, Proactive Solutions. They've been with us from day one. They allow us, Love You Bro podcast, to get to do what we do each and every week, and that's bring you a new episode with new guests. So a big shout out to Dean and Natalie Thede at Proactive Solutions. Proactive Solutions has been delivering infrastructure solutions and IT design and consultation services to clients ranging from startups to Fortune 100 companies for more than 27 years. They are proud to be a Kansas City locally owned and a top woman-owned business, offering custom solutions and personalized support. So thank you to Proactive Solutions, Dean and Natalie. If you guys are interested and your company needs some IT solutions, reach out to Proactive Solutions at www.proactivesolutions.com. We have two great resident sponsors that really help us here at Love You Bro Podcast and allow us to do what we get to do week in and week out. Lula's Southern Cookhouse, Bradley and Brittany Gilmore, owners of Lula's. It's at 1617 Main Street. If you have not been down here, please come down on a Sunday and have brunch. Great wait staff, great bartenders. The ownership team with Bradley and Brittany Gilmore are just fantastic people, and they allow us to do what we get to do in this amazing event space at Lula's Southern Cookhouse. Okay, welcome to Love You Bro podcast for our second part of our show tonight. We are here with the University of Texas leadoff left-handed slap hitter from the Women's College World Series team, Ashton Maloney. So Ashton,
Number 7.
Number 7.
Number 7. Is that a number you've worn all the time, since you've been little?
It was just given to me, and I just liked it, I guess.
Yeah.
Since you've been at UT, or
nice.
since when you were younger?
When I was little, like I was like 7 years old, and I got 7, and I was like, okay.
And you just stayed with it?
Yeah.
I love that. Because sometimes you go places and you don't get, you'll be playing on a team and it's like, hey, here's your number. Like you're at that point where you're not picking stuff out, but then later you're like, you can tell. But you've worn 7 the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, some of my teammates, they have like cool stories like, oh, I'm number 6 because there's 6 people in my family, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm just 7 because they gave me 7. I don't know.
But I like 7 though. I played in a little I kind of played in a soccer game. What was the junior? It was
Jamie played in the media softball game. So Sporting Kansas
Soccer
City
game.
invited us out. The media soccer, like at halftime. It was I don't know, like a 10-minute halftime deal. And then he was like, "We're gonna play this thing." I'm like, "You're gonna play in this
Yeah,
thing."
he's like, you're playing. So
you're
right.
representing.
So they were like, "What?" So it was really cool. The Sporting KC put it on, so it was really cool. So like, what number? And I was like, 7, whatever. But dead ass. I'm like, so it's halftime. So I'm dead like the second time down the field. I'm like, man, fuck all this, dog. So I'm coming back down the field, and I'm like, I'm not kidding. There's this this ball that's crossed. It's a perfect ball. And so my old ass, I'm like, I got this. I'm like, I got this shit lined up. And it's like coming this way. I'm like, I'm going to put him back in the net. I'm going to like do something behind the net, swaggy. And it's like, just sails by me, and I extend my leg. I'm like, oh my God, I think I tore something.
I swear,
And
Ashton.
so family like, dude, what the fuck happened with that? I was like, oh man, it was an embarrassing moment. But I thought it was like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna line this up. I'm gonna block it with my fat ass and like put on my foot and put it in. It's like went right by me.
Bicycle.
I was trying. Yes, I was trying to kill something. I was like, oh man.
Ashton, you can tell like in his mind he knew what he wanted to do. And I saw him start to put his leg out, and I'm sitting there with my wife, and the ball goes right by him. She goes, "What was he trying to do?" And I go, I don't know. And I'm not making fun because I didn't want to be out there, period.
I was making fun, but the
I'm
just of making fun of myself is I rock with 7. That's a good number. So, but that's funny. You're just like, I was given to it, and I just stuck with it.
Soccer
7.
fun fact. You want a soccer fun fact?
Yes.
Yeah, I do want to soccer.
I'm a
fun.
Missouri State champion in
Whoa! Oh, you're
At
Missouri
Liberty
State
High
champion?
School?
At Liberty High School.
I love it. Missouri State.
Yeah.
What'd you play?
I played goalie that year.
Wow. Okay.
So you play soccer all 4 years at Liberty?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well, 3 years. COVID happened, so
Okay,
we
right,
didn't
right,
get to
right.
play that year.
so soccer, softball. Is
And I
that
played
it?
basketball.
Play basketball too?
Yeah, I was terrible at basketball though.
Oh, so
But state champ. Oh, yeah.
state champ, Missouri State champ, and did any Missouri State champ in softball?
No.
You guys,
No.
you guys ever won a state championship at Liberty
No.
in softball? No.
We didn't. Which is crazy because at one point at Liberty we had 7 Division I athletes on our team.
Whoa.
7. Imagine that. Imagine in high school having 7 D1 athletes on your
So who
softball
would
game.
knock you out? Who like?
Blue Spring South knocked us out.
Blue Springs,
Yeah.
like your junior senior year.
They knocked us out sophomore and junior year. Park Hill beat us my senior year. We weren't the best my senior year.
Right.
But 2 years when you guys had a squad, Blue Spring South.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
Did they go on to win it?
They did one of the years, yes. Maybe both of the years. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
So, 7 D1 players. That's a lot of players. So I know we're kind of jumping all over the place here, but so back at Liberty, who was that pitcher either at Liberty or back in your club high school? Who was that pitcher that you were like, God, I got to face her today, or I don't want to face her? Was there anybody in particular?
In high school, like playing high school softball.
He was roping everyone, so it didn't matter.
No.
What was your
roping
batting
everyone, so
average
like-
senior in high school? What was your batting average? You remember?
It was above 500. I know that. I think
About 500, her.
my junior year I hit like 598 or something. So
I didn't know why they even pitched you at
Hold on
that
a
point.
second.
I was like, I'll walk
Junior
her ass.
year, your batting average was 598.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so every 6 times, every time she's getting up, 6 times she's getting a hit. That's
Yeah.
that's
I didn't
unbelievable.
hit like home runs
Right.
until my senior year either, and I would get intentionally walked all the time. I'm like, y'all are intentionally walking a slap hitter right now. Do you know what you're doing?
Because they're
Like,
scared, but they're scared. They were
stupid.
scared.
No,
They
it
didn't
would
want to
make
throw
me
you.
so mad. And my senior year, I got a lot of like chirpiness from like coaches too. They'd be like, "Everything's bigger in Texas." I'm like, "What?" Like
That's hilarious. See that?
Wow. So they were there. So they were mad. You were like, they were
Yeah.
mad. You were going to UT.
they were just mad that they had to pitch to me. I guess I don't know.
That's awesome. But
Yeah,
that's
I
great.
see,
Though. That's
yeah.
what starts out.
I
I
had
mean,
beef with every team my senior year.
See, I love that. though.
Yeah.
I swear.
But you know
I
what?
bet your trash talk game good though.
No,
I bet it is.
I'm witty, but I'm not like good on like. I don't.
Because I
don't
can't
wanna say
imagine they're
anything.
getting after you like that and giving you shit like that. You got to start thinking about like, I got something for them, or you
Well, I
slap
just-
something on your. Or when the time they do pitch, you slap something.
Yeah, I would just back it up. I just hit some over the
Yes.
fence and be like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everything's bigger in Texas. Yeah, go get the ball.
Yeah.
I love that. But I love that, that chippiness and that. But that's, you had that. That's not something that you all of a sudden you learn. That's something like you're born with, like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That competitiveness. Yeah. Because people talk about like when a player, they're like, she's that person or he's that, he's that guy. You can tell. Ashton was like that. That was that girl. So the other team's playing. They're like, that's her.
Yeah, I'm the one. That's what you're saying when you're in that. But you were saying something that was interesting, and it was it's obviously pitchers, shortstop that get recruited. But when you're an outfielder hitting like 598, school's got to look at that shit. That ain't. 'cause I'd be like, wait, what? Hold on a second. Put my glass on like 590. So that's huge. That's like I can't imagine schools not looking at that and being like, a leadoff hitter batting 598, like. Bring her here. Like, say less, bring her here, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I've always been like an underrated player, I think.
Right.
Even like this year, I feel like I was a consistent part of the lineup, but I'm okay with not being like, oh, you're an All-American Ashton Maloney. Like, I'm okay with not being that. Like,
Sure.
Right.
I just play for my team,
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
which
trying
is
to do.
awesome.
When you play on a team as competitive as you do with University of Texas, just being a part of that team and knowing what you have coming behind you, knowing the pitchers you have and all that.
Yeah.
That's what makes it. The national championship. That's what you're after from day one, right?
Yeah. I'm not playing for All-American status. I'd rather be national champion Ashton Maloney than
Yes,
national champion.
1,000.
100%.
That's so. When you guys, in going into this year, do you guys recognize it in the off season? Like we have national championship inspiration. Like it's like, I know everyone you're set out your goal to be, but some people realistically. I was realistically trying to put that ball in the back of the net. And I should have learned that. So realistically, like those expectations, are they every year with Texas? Or is it like, hey, this is going to be kind of a down year? Or this is the year we can go get it? Like, because how you explain like next year, like we're going to bring everyone back. We're going to be like, it's expectations to be there. And like, because some teams, I'll use college basketball, they'll know in a time in late January, February, where shit comes together, where they're like, we kind of knew we had a squad.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we had a squad that we could make a run. So is it similar in softball?
I would say the expectation at Texas, it used to be like, oh, we want to make it to the World Series, but the past 4 years that I've been there, we've made it 3 out of the last 4
that's
times.
awesome. Yeah.
So, and we've played for a national championship the last 3 out of the 4
Yeah.
years. So I think the expectation now is we play in the World Series.
Sure.
And now this upcoming year is just going to be how can we back up what we did last year and defend what we just won.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
That is so cool. This is, we've been fortunate. I said we've been fortunate and blessed, and we brought Xander on after Tennessee won it, and Coach Hoodie. So it's so awesome that here at Love You Bro Podcast we get to bring another national champion on, and one of our own homegrown from Liberty, Missouri. I love that. Yeah. I love that. So Ashton, tell me, coming up this upcoming season, you guys have the national championship. When do you start getting back to work? When do you start going, okay, how much time do you take off? You get this national championship now, but I know you don't stop. You keep going. When do you get back into getting things going?
So we got home on Saturday and I was like, I'll take a week off, but I was lifting and running on Wednesday. So, I didn't really take any days off.
Right.
I took 2.
So you got in town. Well, did you guys get after it in Austin?
We got after it in Oklahoma City.
Yes.
Right after we won.
Yes.
There's a video of our assistant coach going like, we're going to the club. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't.
There you go.
It was funny because remember when Mitch, he was taught when he got married, he was in for the College World Series, and he goes, those dudes came in their uniforms and crashed her wedding. And he goes, they just straight up walked, and he goes, they were like, do you want him out? He's like, no. So Mitch Morris, shout out Mitch, he let these dudes in the College World Series. I forgot what squad it was.
Because he said there was a rain delay. They got rained out or whatever. And the guys came to the hotel across the street. And he goes, we're getting married. He goes, these dudes are in their baseball uniforms. 5, 6 guys walked in. Next thing you know, there's like 15 dudes from I don't know what
drinking at Mitch's wedding. Yeah. He was cool with
it. Do you want to leave? Mitch was like, no, man. Let them drink and have a good time here, man.
Good for you guys. Because that's I can't even imagine. And especially your story where you injure yourself, and it's I imagine there's, you always hear that in the, greatest of athletes, the doubt, the shit, how hard it is. And when you got there, like I said, it's not one thing you're a junior and you've been there for 2 or 3 years. You're doing this not knowing really anyone. Obviously, the coaching staff, but like you said, you felt isolated just because of what you were going through to that last out that happens. And it's just that shit, what What was your mind? What was going through your mind? Like,
when we won.
Yeah. I mean, moms, dad, obviously, all your family. But
Yeah.
I mean, just your journey, where you started. When they gave you that 7, you're like, okay, I'll take 7 because I'm 7-2, national champion.
It was insane. I told a bunch of reporters that day. I was like, I don't even remember how we got the last out. Like, I blacked out. But I watched it back. I watched it back a couple of times. It was cool. But I think in the moment, I was like, gosh, it's finally over. Like, we won. Because we were up 10-0.
Yeah.
Right.
And going into, like, the 5th inning. Like, we had to get 3 outs, and we would have won that inning. And so we were just kind of like, we were like, really? Like, it ended up being like 10-4 or something. But it was like, wow, like, everything that we've done up into this point is finally paid off. We actually won it. Like, we did what we set out to do. It was really,
you know, it's
really
funny
cool
you say that about like that moment where you said you like black out, because McCole Hardman, who's a
friend of ours,
friend of Love Bro, when he caught the winning touchdown in overtime in the Super Bowl, he said that like he kind of glossed the ball, and once I get the ball, and he's like, I literally blacked out, and it's like, holy shit, like, you know, that's crazy. Just like you back, and he's like, you really didn't know, like it was over, and it was, and I was like, so you just say that shit's real. You just black out. Yeah.
I was just like, what do I do now? I guess go dog pile. Our dog pile was bad.
Dog pile was bad.
It was bad.
Nobody got hurt.
It was just like we slowly went down. It was a bad dog pile. There's a picture of me. I was like, dude, why are we even laying on the ground? I'm standing up.
Yeah.
Dog pile's right there.
That's awesome.
Okay, so you guys covered the women's college World Series this year when you came in. Obviously, OU was the favorite, and you said OU swept you guys during the season.
Yeah.
And in Austin and Norman, where'd you guys?
We were in Norman.
You were in Norman.
Love's field. Their field is insane. It's changing the game of softball. That field was crazy.
So
they talk a lot of shit when they were sweeping you guys.
I mean, their fans did.
Yeah, I would see more fans, but I can see that those Oklahoma fans during the Women's College World Series, they look pretty rowdy,
Yeah, they're pretty rowdy.
Yeah, I bet.
And then it's Texas, so it's like Red River.
Yeah,
of
course.
Like, they don't like us at all.
Yeah,
and so,
of course.
I mean, they were beating us pretty good, so I guess they could talk a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Wow, so they sweep you guys in Norman. So we were talking off air here a few minutes ago, and we were talking kind of about how the regionals and stuff how they get set up. So it all goes by seeds and stuff. Like even the baseball, I thought LSU and Arkansas would have been, from some of the teams that were in there, would have been separate, and them having to play the first game. Are you guys, when you're looking at your bracket and stuff and you're looking at your regional, are you guys already kind of trying to kind of figure out like where people are going to fall? Where do you guys talk about that at all? Are you guys one game at a time? We got this. We take care of business here. Then the super regional.
so we look at like the seeding is on TV and all that stuff, and we got a 6 seed, so we're looking for I think the 12 or 13. I can't remember what it was. So we just watch and see who gets that seed. So you see, okay, once we win our regional, Clemson is coming to us, and so that's our super regional, and then we don't really look past that.
Yeah,
just because you got to get to Oklahoma
Right.
before you can even think about
Right.
who you're going to play in the World Series.
What was Clemson? What was their seed?
I think they were 13.
They were 13.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Or 12.
Who was in your regional in Austin this year?
It was Michigan, UCF, and it was no. The regional was who did we play? I can't remember, but
Right.
we run ruled everybody in our regional.
Run ruled everybody in your regional, and then Clemson came to you guys for the super regional.
Yeah.
What was that series like?
Oof. We lost game 1. So there was rain delay. We lost game 1, and then we had to come back and win game 2 and game 3, and we had runners. So game 2 was crazy. That was a 10-inning game.
Okay.
9 or 10-inning game. We had runners on 2nd and 3rd, no outs, bottom of the 7th, and like it was a tied game. And we ended up getting out of that situation. Like they just had to hit. We were a sack fly away from not even going to the World Series.
So imagine. So you lose game 1, game 2. They're a sack fly away from like not even going.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even realize we were like in that situation until I think after the game. My boyfriend was telling me like, you guys almost lost that game. I was like, no, we didn't. We won. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, you had 2nd and 3rd, bottom of the 7th, no outs. Like, you almost lost.
That's
I was like,
crazy.
No outs.
A sack fly away from not even going. That's nuts.
So in the moment, you're not even thinking like, okay, I'm in right field.
I was just like, Tegan's got this. Our pitcher, Tegan.
Right.
Tegan
Yes.
Tegan's crazy.
Yeah. Now, was she a senior this year?
No, she's a sophomore.
She's a sophomore.
Yeah. She's from Iowa. Midwest
wow.
girl. Midwest girl.
Midwest girl,
That
absolutely,
team we're
man.
pulling up in Austin.
Yeah, so she's. I love that. Okay, so she'll be best. So she'll be back. Yeah, I mean, I watched her throw to the World Series. She can move it a little bit.
Yeah.
She can move it a little bit. Okay, so I mean, let's talk about. So can you imagine Super Regional? They lose their first game to Clemson at home. And then game 2, you're just a sack fly away from getting knocked out. What was game 3 like after you guys won that game? What was game 3 like with Clemson?
Game 3 was rowdy. I think we won by a few runs, but it was just like a lot of like mouthiness, a lot of like dirty plays in that game. It was a good game though. It was one of
and
the
I picked up on that shit. And I was like, when I guess this chipping, I mean,
Yeah.
just So that, I mean, I'd love to hear that. So it was
one of the girls from Clemson slid into home and like our catcher missed the tag or something. She's clapping in our catcher's face. We're like,
I love it.
yeah.
So when you guys get back to the dugout, you're like, nah, fuck that all.
Yeah, we don't talk a lot on the field, but
Right.
in the
Yeah,
dugouts,
in the
we're
dugout.
like, what the?
Yeah.
What did she just do? Like,
I love that though. I love that. Yeah.
See, that's the stuff you don't get to see because it's like they're okay like on the field, but it's like wait till they get to the dugout, then they're like,
And as like I said, like I was saying earlier, what I noticed is like when y'all on top of the dugout, it's not like what it's once again 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like, come on, base hit. It's like getting after it and being slick, and I'm like, damn, they're getting after each other.
Yeah.
I go, they're getting insane. Like it's not. It's just So I love that. So that was a chippy game. So you guys, it was a close game, but that's crazy. You guys were a sack of no outs, and not even
Second
like
and third no
out,
outs.
no
Yeah.
outs.
After that, I think we ended up playing like 3 more innings after that. But after the game, I just remember my teammates just like laying on the grass, like in the post game meeting. They're like, "Good game, guys. It's 1:00 in the morning right now. Go to bed. We play again tomorrow."
Yeah, Jesus, that's crazy.
so you win that one, you beat Clemson. Did you guys play Clemson during the season this year? No. So you never saw them. Do you guys face very many ACC teams during the season?
Not this year, I don't think.
Right.
Probably missed one that I'm not even thinking of, but I don't think we did.
So let's talk because I've been following all this NIL stuff. So you're in college, NIL gets announced, it's happening. How does NIL? We're seeing it. You see it big in the football world because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of the things I saw here most recently was the recruits that the football team at the University of Texas brought in. I'm hearing about these Lamborghinis. I'm seeing film. I'm seeing all this stuff. I mean, Texas as a whole. I hate to say this in front of him because he won't be able to walk out this door. But Texas as a whole, I mean, they've got it going on, man. I mean, the football, the basketball, the baseball, the women's.
You ever see
all the
Arch on
women's-
campus?
The women's volleyball, the
funny.
women's softball.
I can't wait. She said, I
what'd
was
say?
like, you ever see Arch on campus? She goes, I got a funny story in her life. I go, okay,
Oh, yes,
we're
we
going
wanna
to get
get-
on that.
Yes.
But yes, it is. It's, they don't, I mean, there's not more dollars and Austin is just Austin. It's insane. But this is a year football wise. They are going to be preseason 1, 2, and
Yeah.
it's like they were good because once again SEC, but they held their own in the SEC last year football wise, and they even got more dogs. And then-
Everything wise, I mean,
everything
volleyball,
wise,
softball,
yeah.
I mean, everything.
No,
is-
but football, they've
Right.
always kind of fallen. I mean, they've never had a defense to match, or it's just been. But it is lined up now with Arch there. I mean, it's all eyes. On Austin. It's all eyes, and what's it coming off
In
an
every
national
sport,
yes.
too.
In every sport, yes.
National
I don't know if
champion.
you know what the Directors Cup is, but it's like all the colleges are competing in who wins like the most national championships. Like wherever you finish.
Yes, I do.
So like we finish first, so we get 100 points. Finish
Right.
second, it's like 90 something.
Yes.
And so Texas won this year again. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'll see it's the
It's like-
Capital One.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's our like 4th one in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So
And that's all your sports. That's
Yeah.
men's and women on both sides of like every sport. That is so cool. Yeah, I mean Texas is just. I saw all that type of recruiting and stuff there. So super excited for the season coming up. Super excited for this year coming up. Do you guys have a fall season? You guys have fall ball?
yeah, we play a few games in the fall. I think we play like 5 or 6.
Right. Okay, Texas Tech. I mean, who do you start thinking about next year? Because I mean, OU's gonna be right back
the
in the mix,
champions.
right? I mean, OU's gonna be. They'll be right back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, OU will be vengeful next year, I think. Tech's going to be really good. A&M's going to be really good. Tennessee returns Pickens and a lot of their lineup. They'll be good as well. I mean, we're going to be good. We'll be
Right.
a really good contender next year as well. And then
What
know,
what type
we'll
of
see.
goal? What type of goals do you set for yourself for next year? You'll be coming in as a 5th-year senior.
Mm-hmm.
starting right field, leading off,
It's
doing
about
your
the
thing,
chips, right? It's about
doing your
taking
thing.
chips. I mean, that like you said it. You're like, I want to win another national championship.
Yeah.
I don't care, like
Yeah.
you know.
More rings.
Any personal goals that you set for yourself for next season?
I think next season I just want to enjoy it more. I think in the past it's been more like felt like a job, but this year it's like I know it's going to be my last year playing college softball. I know like what I want to do. I just want to be somebody that leaves the jersey in a better place, leave a legacy at Texas, and just be there for my
absolutely love
teammates.
that.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
That was cool. That's cool.
That's
Been-
so cool.
Been a little bit of a hothead my past couple years, so I think this next year just understanding like this is my bonus. I call it my bonus year.
Yeah.
And just like I shouldn't even be here. Like enjoy it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
And enjoy it more. But that passion you play with, the passion is, I mean, that's there.
I love it. Yeah,
That
I
passion
love
you
it.
play with is there. That's who you are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets the best, but it's all right.
That's okay. So coming up this year, senior season, Love You Bro podcast. We're gonna make our way to Austin, and they're gonna be like, "Who are those guys?" And you're gonna be like, "Love You Bro
That's Unc up
podcast."
there. That's Unc up there getting wild up there in the glasses.
Oh,
We will.
y'all better be rowdy. Yeah.
We will, are you kidding
For
me?
sure.
We will be. And then I'm serious. We want to get out to Austin and watch you guys play. Hopefully see you guys in the regional, and then we're gonna have to make our way to Oklahoma City.
But real quick, I want to hear this art story.
Yeah, tell us the art story. Let's
Well,
hear
I
this
don't know
art
if
story.
y'all saw on like Twitter where he lost his ID.
Yes,
like
I
the
did.
first week of school.
I did. I know.
I mean, he was just a little lost.
Yeah.
And there was
He lost his. It's so good.
we have the tank, which is where we eat. It's Texas Athletics Nutrition Center, and he's standing outside and he's like, "Is this where we eat lunch?" I'm like, yes, it is where you eat lunch. And then there's like a sign on the door that says, "Please use the other door." And he's like trying to open that door. I'm like, I walk in, I'm like, "Open that door, bud." I was like, I hope you can read a defense better than you can read the signs on the door. But
I love that.
That's too good.
He
That's a
Yeah,
great art
absolutely.
story.
he's
Yeah.
really funny, is what I've heard. And
Yeah.
like,
Well, he's, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously his family. There's a legacy on
Yeah.
legacy. They all have sense of humor, and they all have, it's like, I mean, like I said, I like him. I like his personality. I like his, when he gets interviewed, and I like, he's a lot more athletic than his uncle and his, he's like his granddad, his dad, granddad.
Yeah.
Right.
He could run, but
well, they
it'll-
said Archie was the best.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, no, and he could
Yeah.
run his ass off.
Until he
Man.
got-
He had wheels. So yeah, it'll be fun. Do you go real quick? Do you go to any of the football games?
yeah.
You guys,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
And then like the Red River Shootout, that's huge, right? You guys go down
Yeah.
to the Cotton Bowl.
The rivalry, up in Dallas. I think I'm gonna try to go this year. Haven't been yet, but bonus year, so I got to do everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's
Absolutely.
so cool. That's such
Yeah.
a. I mean, that's Well, what a great. Yeah.
Now you have a boyfriend currently now.
Yeah.
Just because we had talked a little bit, so he's a baseball player.
Yeah.
What type of season did he have this year?
He had a good season. He's either gonna get drafted coming up, or he's gonna coach for Texas. So we'll see what he does.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, Ashton, we can't thank you
We got a
enough
little
for
swag for you.
Yeah, we
Good.
that's the
Burn
last thing
orange.
we so specialized printing. I call them my bonus kids because they're just his kids.
Yeah.
But Tommy O, he owns a place called Specialized Printing. They do all of our stuff, and
so
he
cute.
went because we have like different colors on our website. I sent to you, and I said we need to get a burnt orange. So shout out to Specialized Printing and Tommy O'Donnell for
sick.
finding the burnt orange. Love you, bro.
That's
'Cause
clean.
I know Herbie's gonna want one now, and I don't know, Herbie. You're not as special as Ashton Maloney. Ashton, there's a
That's
little
sick.
Love You Bro sweatshirt for you.
Yeah.
I want you to rock that gear in
I
Austin.
will.
People are gonna ask. You can tell them it's from the podcast.
Oh yeah.
And then one of our sponsors, where we actually shoot out here at Lula's, we have a nice gift card for you for
Appreciate that.
you and your boyfriend or you and your family to come and do brunch. Here at Lula's. So thank you so much for coming on
Thank
our
you
show
so
tonight.
much.
Thanks for
We're
having
a
me.
blast,
Yeah.
man. Can't
So-
wait to see you in Austin. I'm serious. We're gonna pull up. You're gonna be like,
Alright.
oh shit, that really coming up.
When you,
Let me know.
When you
I'll
go
be
and
there.
you look at some of the reels and you see the stuff, you'll know that Ashton Maloney is now part of our Love You Bro family. So everybody that comes on, now we've got some UT love down there. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me.
We're gonna follow this next
Enjoy
season.
the rest of this year. Enjoy that 5th bonus year, and have
Bonus
the time
year.
of your life.
Let's go.
Hang up more chip. Hang another chip up, and
Yeah.
enjoy this year, man, on campus.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, congratulations, and thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
The last thing, really quick.
Nope.
So did you get size for your ring? You guys
Yeah.
get national champion rings?
We got sized. I saw a sneak peek too.
Saw a
but
sneak peek of
I
the ring?
can't say anything yet.
I love
I
it,
wasn't
man. I
supposed
love
to.
it. Listen, enjoy getting your national championship ring. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
an amazing season. Liberty, Missouri, one of our homegrown here, and now you're part of the Love You Bro podcast.
1,000.
Thank you so much
Hook 'em.
for coming
For
on.
sure.
There it is. Jamie, give him the hook of
'em.
horns.
Hook 'em.
Yeah, the hook of horns. Ashton Maloney, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.